Does this resonate with either of you or any thoughts? Does it spark anything?
It can, well, initially, it's like, you don't know where you're going, and road will get you there, but you still don't know where you're going. So then you road might just great well.
Um,
Uh, any road could get you there, but there might not be where you want to go.
yes.
So,
Exactly. So that will play a huge part in what we're doing today, which is we're doing our big why, our goal setting. Kind of creating that vision for where you want to take your future and your goals. So anything you have done over the last 24 hours to move your business forward? Any ahas? Of course, so 36-12-3, the whole premise, if you've been following along, is that you're doing 3 hours of lead gen every day. Which will result in you getting 36 deals over a 12-month period.
So, well, yesterday was my other job, and today I made calls already for this morning and got more this afternoon, just connecting with my database. And then tomorrow I have a door knocking group in my neighborhood, along with 12 hours of other calls in between, so. And then I'm Eloise signed yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Just one. Big deal.
What about you can see?
That's my first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's it, that's all I got going on there. As of yesterday, last week.
Does this quote resonate with you at all?
Yes. Not through California, it's just an old quote.
This is the whole
Yeah,
quote,
yeah.
yes. With our content,
Actually, I think it's a cartoon with two animals talking.
it is from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Yes, that is right, and it is quite a famous quote.
Not that I'm a movie, but.
Yeah. I have to go back. I'm gonna be flipping back and forth because I have our presentation and then I have our. So. Okay. So, like I mentioned in this finale, we're gonna go over your big why, the models, goals to actions, measuring your results. Putting it into the now, so doing it, keeping the goals in front of your eyes and then putting it all together. The thing I did mention before you entered the room is that there is less slides and content with this course today. A lot of it is working on your own big why and goal setting for 2026.
Cool.
So does everyone have the student handbook in front of them? Did you download it from the? Not? Yeah, it would be helpful to have it open, and have it in a spot that you can maybe make some notes. Okay. So you come through these class sessions. What does it mean to you to make 36 or more transactions to you next year?
That would be great.
Typically, it's more than just paying, like your big why is not necessarily money, it's not necessarily paying the bills.
Mhm.
But what will it give you? What will that success lead to?
Yeah, yeah. For me, if like. When you do 36 deals, it'll. Yeah, fulfillment, really pressure, a solid understanding of what my business looks like, and also systems and processes to continue to be successful. It's all of those things put together. And then hopefully, the ability to buy back your time as well by having all those systems in place. So you can manage your time more effectively to be more present with your family and friends, all the rest of it will still continue on.
Gotcha.
That's what. That makes sense.
Yeah, agree. Agree. Yeah, so like I mentioned, a lot of self-reflection in this class today, and I'm actually going to, they want you to actually take the time to think about it and write down your big why. So I am going to quickly play. Well, the video. Oh, we have to watch a commercial.
Yes,
As an owner of Walton Goggles and Goggle Glasses, I know how to make slick-looking goggles/glasses, but I have no idea how to make slick social.
People are like, what's my work why and what's my personal why? No, you have one why. Well, my why has changed. No, it hasn't. Because we are products of our upbringing. You are who you are because of the experiences you had when you were raised.
Right.
And I am who I am for the same reasons. And you can't change who you are. You can either be authentic or not. You can either live in balance with who you are, but you don't get to just change it, right? So you only have one why, and it's fully formed by your mid to late teens. That's it. The youngest person I did a why discovery with was about 16. And now the opportunity for your life is to make choices and decisions that allow you to be your natural best. And that's the hard part.
Right.
The hard part is implementing it. We think to ourselves, do I even have a why? It's not because it doesn't exist. It's because the part of the brain where the why exists in the limbic brain controls all of our feelings, like inspiration, like trust, like love, like loyalty. It controls behavior, right? But it doesn't control language. And so it's very hard to verbalize feelings, right? Like when you sit down with somebody you love or somebody you're angry with, these are complicated, difficult conversations sometimes because it's hard to verbalize feelings, right? It's just a problem with being human, right? So it's not that it's just hard to put into words, which is why it sometimes feels like I don't know what mine is, right? But there's multiple ways you can do it. I've tried to put as many of them out in the world as possible. But I can tell you one fun exercise that you can do with your friends. I call it the friends exercise. Basically, find a friend you love and who loves you. The kind of friend who, if you called them at 3 a.m, you know they'd pick up and you would pick up for them. Do not do this with a spouse, a sibling, a parent.
Okay.
Those relationships are too close and it won't work. A friend who loves you. And you ask them this question: why are we friends? And they're going to look at you like you're crazy because it's hard to verbalize why we're friends with each other, right? And so they'll look at you like you're nuts. And then, then you weirdly stop asking the question why, and you ask the question what, because you want to engage the rational brain. So you say, come on. What specifically is it about me that I know that you'd be there for me no matter what? And they'll start describing you. You're funny, you're always there for me, I trust you, and you play devil's advocate. Good, that's the definition of a friend. You have that with lots of people. What specifically is about me that I know you'd be there for me no matter what? And they're going to go through a few rounds of this.
So they keep going. You can still keep pressing,
and it's going to get more frustrating, right? And at some point they'll give up. At some point they'll give up and they'll start describing themselves. And this is what my friend said to me. My friend said, I don't know, Simon. All I know is that I can sit in a room with you. I don't even have to talk to you. And I feel inspired. and I got goosebumps, right? So in other words, what they're doing is they're articulating my value in their lives,
Yeah.
which is the thing that I give to the world, which is my why. And the reason I had an emotional response is because it's deep inside of me. So you'll get to something where they'll say something about themselves, and you will either get goosebumps or you'll well up with tears. You'll have an emotional reaction. I did it with multiple friends. They say very similar, if not the exact same thing, because the space I fill in their lives is my why. That's the thing I work hard to give to the world.
Is everyone familiar with Simonson? And all his work on finding the why? You've read the book? No, it's a great book. But it takes you down to that core, peels back all the layers. What you like, and it might not be about. Not. What you're looking for.
So a couple weeks ago, I was driving, I started finding this, but I was playing with ChatGPT while I was driving.
Yeah.
And I told it I wanted to create my big blog. And I said, but I want you to figure out my big blog.
Okay.
It started asking me a series of questions, and it actually nailed it.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you willing to share like a little? snippet?
It's a short paragraph.
Okay,
The way it starts off, I am a Christian, so my faith is important to me. So it says, to honor God daily by leading with integrity, generosity, and gratitude, to create a life where my family thrives spiritually, emotionally, and financially for generations to come, to build a real estate and mortgage team that changes lives, provides opportunity, and reflects our values and dedication, intentionality, and gratitude. To equip and empower others to achieve their best lives through real estate, to create financial freedom through wise stewardship, consistent giving, real estate investments, and paying down debt, to build a business that allows more time for faith, family, travel, health, and meaningful relationships, and to leave a legacy of service where clients feel cared for, supported, and guided every step. That's, and it was like an hour drive, but I really thought it was good,
yeah,
because I've always struggled with creating my why,
right. And it can be hard,
because you land on finances all the time.
yes, yeah, it stops there, It's like, okay, I paid off. You know,
I
paid
need
off
a
my
million,
car,
I need $1
paid off-
million.
I need it, right, or it's like a dollar amount, but that doesn't always motivate you, like, on a cellular level. Because it just doesn't, it's not, it's not authentic maybe to who you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you have a minute, I'm supposed to give you 10 minutes. We might not take all that time, but just jot kind of a few things down, and hopefully that, like that video might have helped to kind of dig a little bit deeper. Then it's, I mean, it's okay if your goal is a financial marker. It just has to resonate with you at a deep enough level to evoke change.
Jeez.
I've been searching, where's the booklet for this?
So if you go into PW events and you go to actually the event for today, like go onto our calendar, it's in.
So it's not in the email you sent out inviting to this?
There's a
You got
link
it
in
from the
there.
calendar, yeah,
Okay.
it's in the calendar, yeah. It was probably in the reminder email.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a link, yeah. But here, yes. So I'm just gonna put on a little intro music.
Okay.
And it's June. I'm okay.
Allison, this is stuff I'm really sure with my therapist.
You don't have to share what you wrote down, only if you want to share. No, please.
Oh, sorry. Everybody here. Oh, gosh.
If we able to find the.
I've got lots of your leaks, so,
Okay,
but this has everything on it.
that's everything, no, sorry, so if you go to. Oh, you're on KW Insider, so if you go to. KW, yeah, that one. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
sorry.
That's, no, that's a,
Here. Go with that, there's your name on there.
okay, thank you.
You're allowed to typing, are you on a roll?
There was a lot of deleting.
Okay. Any ahas? Putting that together?
Sure,
Is
yeah.
that-
For me, and this has been sort of a recent, more recent discovery than anything else, like the last, I guess, year and a half since I decided to start into this business. Is that I'm not necessarily financially driven. I never really have been. I've always been focused on like and refocusing on my relationships. That's the most important thing to me. Like the relationships with kids, with my friends, with my family, and this has been a great exposure to that. It has helped me to get better at that, and that's my whole goal, is to be healthy, happy in my relationships, and that bring financial freedom. Hands on. So, very happy. Hey there.
Yeah, so one of the kind of sharing exercises. If you were to finish this sentence, if I fully lived up to my goals this year, my life would feel. Excellent. So think about your goals for 2025, whether you hit them, or maybe you haven't, and that's okay. What would that make you feel? And even looking into 2026, okay, so you're setting your goals for 2026. That's what we're gonna do today. How would you feel if you completed those goals?
Right.
Freedom?
One word.
Right.
Uh.
Sure, Steve. Happy, happy, yeah.
How would you feel?
Free and happy.
It's not me.
Yeah.
So from here,
Yeah.
from our big why, we go into the models. And this is the numbers, and these models and systems will get you to your
Yeah, it'll be even better.
get your goals. Going back to that initial quote. You don't know where you're going and where it'll take you there, you need to have models and systems in place with a goal to be able to put it all together. So we're gonna work through all these 4 models today. We go through it on the slides. And then the way that this is designed today, just to give, like, it's a 40-minute work period. So what I'll do is I'll give all the content, and I'm gonna show a little different way that you can put your goals down, because encouraged to do it on paper. You wanna have copies of it, like, once you've established your goals for 2026, you want to have it in as many places as possible. I know you weren't able to be here on Friday, but Andre, when he was teaching the course for business planning, he said his team carries around, they have 5 copies printed. So they have one at their desk, one in their work bag, one at their, on their fridge, they have, like, you scatter them everywhere. And I'm gonna show you today using the command dashboard, where you can put all of your goals there. So it's just another spot when you're going in every day to do your 3 hours of lead gen, that will be right on your home screen. So it's just another reinforcement. So I'll show you that as well. That's a little off, that's off of the course material, but I think it's really helpful. In addition to having written copies. So. So we will go over conversions. If you don't know all of your conversion rates, they give you samples of conversion rates. From, lead generation conversions to appointment conversions, it kind of goes down that ladder. And then also how much of your business is listings, how much is buyers, because you kind of work in both of those funnels. And we'll go over all of that, but they have some suggestions on those conversions that if you don't know, if you haven't been tracking your numbers, or you're newer to the business and you haven't had as much of a history, then you can just use the suggested conversion rates. So yeah, so all of these models are based on doing 36 transactions a year. If that's not your goal for 2026, that's okay. You can put whatever goal you want, but all of these numbers will relate to that because that's based on the principle of this course. So you can see those numbers there. And if you're following along in your book, it does go through all of these numbers with you as well. This we will kind of look through because it's really just showing you what we're gonna do, and then we do it.
We don't try to do it, we just do it.
Just do it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there's no try.
It's really hard to eliminate that word from here.
It's hard, yes, yeah.
Can't even say it like you're trying to do it.
And if you write it, like it's hard when you say it, because you can't take that back.
Mhm.
But if you're writing in italic. I'm gonna try to do that. Reword it. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, so if you're following along in your book, this is page 13 and 14. So it just goes over your Mets and your haven't Mets. Numbers in your database. So it's helpful, everyone has laptops, that you can see how many numbers how many contacts you have in your database. Because that will get us to those conversion rates as well. And then we'll go through a marketing plan for, again, through your CRM for all of those lead gen touches. So from entering that new lead into your contact and putting them through to, they have a 33 touch plan. I think they've increased that. I think it's a 36 touch plan now. Some touch plans are even more than that. No. So here's the ratios. If anybody does anyone do cold calling?
No, not necessarily, but they're calls, but they're not cold,
Okay,
cold.
they're people that you already know.
I've met them.
Okay, okay. This is a really great chart. For ratios for Mets versus haven't Mets. So if you're doing any cold calling, door knocking, and your ratios for how many people you're gonna have to speak to potentially get a lead for a transaction versus your Mets. So those are people that you already know or have worked with in the past or in your sphere. This is in your book, so.
Yeah.
You can give, yeah, gives you some prices. Gonna do mailings at a cost per touch. Difference between marketing and prospecting. This is something that we've talked about before in lead generation classes, trying to keep your cost per touch low. So if you're marketing, you can spend thousands of dollars on billboards, bench ads, buses, you name it, right? Versus if you are nurturing those Mets with, you know, it can be Popeyes, it can be little trinkets. You guys give quite a bit out for your team.
Yeah.
Been able to keep those cost per touches low.
The closer you get to the center, the more we get that.
Right. Yes. Yeah, that's a great.
All good stuff.
Right, yes.
You're
You have your prospecting and marketing, your 12 directs. This is your target group who haven't met, and then you get into your Met group. And then your allied resources, those would be like your cheerleaders.
And you wanna treat them the best and get everybody moving into that, so.
Budget model. And this is your money, where does your money go? That's something that you should be tracking. We talked about this before. Making sure that you're running your business like a business You should be doing your profit and losses, you should be tracking your numbers. You should be looking at your bank account every day, just making sure you know where your money is going. Sometimes people avoid it. Often people avoid it. But you wanna track that money that you're using to run your business. And put money back into your business. But trace it.
So on that one, Alicia and I have been talking about this. You can actually work backwards from it, so she has a goal.
Yeah.
It's easy to do that, but you can actually take this year's, just say this, and you can put whatever number you wanna make, and then it'll set up your budget for the year. This is what you should allocate to each of these sections. So it was kind of fun to do that exercise.
Right, yeah. Work it backwards.
Yeah, reverse engineer your spend, your expenses and stuff. Good way to do it.
And you can run a fantastic business with doing, like, not spending a ton of marketing. There's some big teams that spend
Big money.
big money. You might want your name on a rec center, whatever the case may be. If you don't have that budget, that's okay, you can still make a strong impact when you're focusing on those people tighter to your circle. Right? Get those referrals and lead with revenue that way. That one. This is a part of the budget model about hiring, so this includes salaries. This would apply more to your team. Less applicable for a single agent or a team that doesn't have admin. But it talks about calculating those wages in your budgets as well. So. Here's some examples, how your total, so when we go through to actually do your budgets and all of your numbers, they work off of a roughly of a 30% expenses. And it's kind of generalized, but they've broken it up into now.
Yeah.
Some different segments. You can just do rough numbers. Yeah. Sorry, this part's coming. It's exciting. So if you go on to page 20 or 21, it shows you all 7 levels. You can see this diagram there, and that would be helpful if they made that larger. This can also help you with goal setting if you're looking at that chart, because it shows you where you are now. So if right now, if it's just you in your first level, and then second level, if it's you an assistant, third level, it's you, and then you start getting an admin, transactions coordinator, and it's building out that 7th level business that the $1 million real estate agent model is formed from. And you can kind of decide when you're looking at your goals for this year, if you have a big goal, like, to where you want to take your business. So this is a really great diagram. All the models together, are we gonna start? Oh, this is a good exercise, I like this one actually. So give yourself a raise. When you're looking at your numbers, how could you change to increase your net income? What are some things you could do? Whether it's focusing on a higher price point.
More appointments?
Higher commission, bringing your value proposition to your client. Exact commission rate. Or an appointment conversion, so if you're looking at maybe a 70% conversion rate, how can you work on your scripts? Maybe that'll increase your conversion rate to a 90% conversion rate. So there's little things that you can do within your business to increase your net dollar that doesn't necessarily, I mean, it could mean doing from 10 deals to 12 deals, you're just gonna increase your income that way, but there's ways that you can increase your income by just doing those little tweaks within your business. So it's a neat example. You do know your conversion rates?
No, that's always a tough one to track,
Yeah.
because often I'm giving a lead to somebody else. So it's very tough to track. And then usually you start tracking it 30 days later.
Right.
Because you don't know what happened to it. Personally, I think it's high.
Yeah.
But mostly because you try to play in the center. So conversion rates to me always depend on where the lead came from.
Right.
Like if it's just a cold,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah lead, you know, it's obviously gonna be a lot lower. You know, because your sister hopefully get it much.
And then, yeah, they're gonna be
Yeah,
90% conversion on there, yeah.
hopefully.
Mike, we were talking about ways that you can increase your income. And like the 3 numbers that you can do to increase your income within your business. So the things that we kind of talked about was conversion rates. So to do that, if you want to increase your conversion rates, work on your scripting, get really dialed in, increase those if you didn't have a 70% conversion rate, bump that up to an 80% conversion rate. Your value proposition, so rather than cutting commission, and really show your value, get your full commission value.
Yeah.
And then price point. So. So we're gonna just watch this. Little video.
Someone who is very goal oriented. Like I set goals for a ton of areas in my life for many years. I would set goals for the grades I wanted in the school, the weights I wanted to lift in the gym, the revenue numbers I wanted to hit in my business, all kinds of stuff. But over time, what I started to realize was that whether or not I set a goal actually had very little to do with whether that goal was accomplished. And you start to see that goals are useful for setting a sense of direction. Like they help you determine where should I allocate my effort and attention. They give you a sense of clarity. So in that sense, they're positive. But what you start to notice is that in many areas of life, the winners and the losers, so to speak, in any given domain, they often have the same goals. If you have 100 candidates apply for a job, presumably everybody has the goal of getting the job. If you have 30 teams that are competing in a league to win the championship, presumably every team has the goal of winning the championship. And so if the winners and the losers have the same goals, the goal cannot be the thing that makes the difference. And so it may be necessary, but it's not sufficient. And what is sufficient is having a system, which I would define as the goal is your desired outcome, The system is the collection of daily habits that will get you there. And what's interesting, if there's ever a gap between your goal and your system, if there's ever a gap between your desired outcome and your daily habits, your habits will always win. The outcome will not happen. Whatever the habits are driving you towards, the outcome that will happen. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. What that really is saying is that your results in life are often a lagging measure of your habits. Your bank account is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your reading and learning habits. Your physical fitness is a lagging measure of your training and eating habits. Even your clutter on your desk or in your bedroom is a lagging measure of your cleaning habits. And that raw idea that the results we have in life are a lagging measure of the habits in that particular domain or area, I think you can apply it to pretty much anything. And it speaks to why the system is more important than the goal, because ultimately the system is what delivers whatever result occurs. It's what determines whether you achieve any of the goals that you want. And it's kind of strange, actually, because so often in life, we say that what we want is a different outcome, but actually the outcome is not the thing that needs to change. Like you might say, you walk into your bedroom and it's really dirty and cluttered and messy. You say, I want to have a clean room. I'm going to set a goal, getting a clean room. And you might be motivated and work for an hour or two and clean the room up. And you have a clean room for now. But if you don't change the sloppy, messy, pack rat habits that led to a dirty room in the first place, you end up with a dirty room again in a week or 2 days or whatever it is. So it's actually not the outcome that needs to change, it's the habits that precede the outcome.
Any ahas from that? I think one of the many really great lines in that was it talked about the two sports teams. And both of their objectives is to win. That's their goal. But only one team is gonna win. So the goal is not going to have the outcome just because that's your goal. I thought that was really, yeah, I thought it was put really well.
I'm not sure if I caught it properly, but you say that you rise to your goal and you fall to your habits, is that?
Yes.
Yeah. That's ultimately really important because, goals are not necessarily something that they're gonna happen all the time, just like the sports teams, but like I've done this in my own life for the last couple of years, set an annual goal, and there's however many 8 or 10 of them on my list every year.
Right.
And I think every year I may a 1 or 2. That's not because I didn't work out.
Right.
I may have just not worked out in the right way to achieve that.
Right.
So, yeah, totally great telling.
So to get you there, we're gonna add the 411 be a part of your business plan. So does anyone already do a 411 daily, weekly, monthly? No?
Yearly.
So yes, you can break it into an annual goal. And we always break it up into more than one category. So you can have your career, your job goal, you have your business goals, your financial goals, and then you have your personal goals. On an annual, then you have your monthly goals. We break that down again. And then you have your weekly goals. And so those layered all together will build you those foundational habits that James Clear mentioned in his video to be able to get to that final goal. It's like those little bits that eat the frog, right? You do the most important thing first and then work away. Have anyone read that book?
Swallow the frog.
Eat the frog, or yeah.
Is it swallow? I don't know if somebody can recommend
Yeah.
that as a photo for her wall too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No.
Have you heard of it? Yeah. So it doesn't sound very pleasant eat the frog. But it's essentially, it's to avoid procrastination, right? So if you have that important thing that you know is gonna make a difference in your life, in your business, but you like, you know, okay, it's 9 a.m. Oh, 11, I'll do it at 11, I'll get to it. You do those big things, the things that'll move the needle, do those first. And that's why a lot of the times our lead gen, when you're time blocking your day, which we're gonna talk about today, is you do your lead gen in the morning. That's the thing that feeds your business. So you get that done in the beginning of the day before you decide to come up with a whole bunch of reasons to why, you know, your day got away from you. I'm gonna go do, you know, do all the other things. I'm gonna throw a load of laundry in, whatever. Like, there's all these things that can get in your way, run errands. We, as realtors, can make ourselves really busy. But making sure you have your 411 and make sure your weekly goals are well established, so you'll hit your monthly goals. Your monthly goals have to build on that yearly goal. If you just have a yearly goal and you don't have any of the foundational models to how to get you there, it's a dream, but it's not really a goal. And these are, yeah, page 26. In your, are there blank ones in your, does it give you a blank one?
Well, there's an example.
Example?
Yeah. Be helpful. I'm sure in a PDF editor, you could probably get this. Is there like a template to this somewhere that we could find?
I have a blank copy, so I can always email it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They might have it on, it might be on command. If you want to connect, but before, yeah, like a blank 411.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah, because page 27 has, it's an example, but it doesn't give you the blank ones to fill out.
I'm really good at writing them on sticky notes. On my
Yeah.
computer. No, like action plans fine. Other than what we've been here, which doesn't help.
The 411 is an amazing tool because it puts things into bite-sized pieces. So when you're looking at your weekly goals, monthly, like if you have a big yearly goal, it can sound ambitious. Like, okay, it's great to have a bit of ambitious goal, but without all of those little bits.
Taking it out, but
I was thinking the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, you know, like,
Yeah.
do one bite.
One bite at a time,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, so it keeps you on pace. It's, yeah, I do a 411, weekly, so every Sunday, so I do our business planning every year, but every Sunday, I like to just take 20 minutes and I'll review my goals, my vision, and then I'll plan out my week.
actually, your analogy was very good. Your daily goals support your weekly goals, your weekly supports monthly, yeah, I've never heard that before.
Well, thank you. I mean, the best way that I relate to everything is to sport, and because like all of like my formative years were in sport. If you wanted to achieve anything, you have to do all the practice and training and a weekly basis. And if you can do that, then you'll be successful. So it's all very relatable, and you just I haven't put it into practice my business life. But all of it and working towards adding more of that sport into my life to help structure business life. Like it's a symbiotic relationship. It's all it's have to work together or stay or has to motivate to achieve it. So wow. So I think that's what's in order, right?
Okay. Do you have an accountability partner? Someone you're accountable to?
And where
Yeah.
Will those people change? Yes.
When Andre was here last week, his example for being accountable to someone was his kids. He said, he told his kids that he had to make so many calls to get to a goal, and he was gonna take them to Disneyland. Every single day, those kids were asking him if he had made his calls that day. Because it meant that they were going to Disneyland.
Yeah.
But they became his accountability trigger
you're.
to get those calls.
Yeah.
They're selfish. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Dave. Flip flops, you know, we should not take them.
Sure, where you wanna take, you wanna take them to Disney?
Yeah.
Sometimes felt good.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be another colleague.
Mhm.
It can be anyone in your life that's gonna, but hold you to it, right? They're not going to, buy that excuse for why you couldn't do it that day.
Yeah.
You need to find somebody that'll really be, really hold you accountable and not let you off easy. And I have another video from somebody that probably I'm familiar with.
I'm starting to coach really successful real estate agents, but the challenge was at the end of the coaching call, I would say, "Do you know what to do?" And they would say, "Yeah, I do." And they would know, right? But we'd get on the phone at our next conversation and they wouldn't have done what mattered most. They did a little of it, but they didn't do enough of it, right?
Gotcha.
So then after periods of time, I kept asking myself, what's the different way I could phrase this so I could get them to do what mattered most? And finally, one day out of frustration, I mean, really, it was a frustrating day. I said to an individual, I said, "Okay, look, stop. If there was just one thing you could do, such that by doing it, everything else would be easier and necessary, what would that be?" Bam. And they knew the answer, by the way. They always knew the answer.
Right.
But now that I put it that way, they said this. And I said, "Okay, when we get on the phone next time, that's all we're going to talk about. If you've accomplished that, we'll talk about anything else you want. Other than that, this is all we're going to talk about." I'm starting to coach really successful real estate agents, but the challenge was at the end of the
Wait, so going back to Eat the Frog, have that accountability partner. And make sure you're doing those tasks that will really get you the most. And people say better than K-pop, so.
I don't know what it is, but people think that quite successful in wearing t-shirts, just black t-shirts.
I have like 1,000 black t-shirts.
It's about success, just go to black t-shirt. In my shop.
Yeah.
That's
He goes
true.
colorful. I like a good black t-shirt.
Yeah.
I really do. Goes with it.
It does. I don't know many.
You don't have a black t-shirt?
Oh, I do, but they're all like work uniform shirts. For my other job, but not in my own personal wardrobe. I don't think I would break one. Good.
You know what, we're almost said black. We'll pick on you. Okay. By the end of this week, if you don't have an accountability partner, please find them.
Okay.
And get into a regular schedule. So with the team, it does make it a little bit easier because you probably have accountability systems already in place. But you can still have your own, you can
Mhm.
obviously follow along with what your team leader advises. But, so you have, you have her to keep you accountable and the team to keep you accountable, but it's nice to have also,
And every day.
yes, kind of something that hits a little bit, more close to home maybe. So you have that self-motivating as well, not just because.
Because you have to.
Because you have to, with my team, you don't wanna let down your team, and that's true. But you wanna be self-propelled, right? So having accountability person within your circle, as an extra layer, it's not in lieu of, and set up a schedule, so that way you can better be ahead of getting those goals than to be lagging and trying to catch up on pieces, right? So. Goals to action, so if you miss a goal, examine why and develop a new plan. I've heard of different agents training where if they are partway through their year and they're not on pace, you have to pivot a little bit. You develop a new plan. So if it means that you add Sunday as a work day to be able to catch you up to that goal, or an extra hour of lead gen 4 days a week, whatever it is, if you need to shift and you need to pivot to still make that goal happen, you can do that. So but have a plan in place already, so if I'm not on pace for my 36 transactions for next year, I can add this in, and you have it as a marker, so you already know what to do. You don't have to go like, okay, well, scrambling, what can I do to try and make up those contacts? Of people in my database to have those conversations, you already have like a little side plan, like it's a sidebar. And in that way, you're still moving towards those goals and you don't end up getting. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So this still goes on to our 411, so you're creating all your. Oh, actually, page 31, do you have a blank? 31? No, still no. Okay. I'll find you a blank 411. And a weekly to do, so your to-do list is different than your 411. Your to-do list can be, like those little must-dos, but they might not necessarily make it to your 411 to hit your goals. So maybe think when you're building out your 411, kind of thinking about the difference between the two. I think we can all have a really full to-do list, but not all of the things on our to-do list are gonna get us to our goals. So just trying to kind of know the difference when you're putting things down. Okay, time block. You get out your calendar. Do you use time blocking now? Yeah.
Getting better at it, like my calendar is. A lot more colorful than it used to be. Got things like kid schedules, work schedules. Other things all locked in there, so yeah, it's a matter of putting in. The specific things that are gonna be mine.
Yeah.
Right now, into my calendar, more consistent.
If you use Google Calendar, create a new calendar tab and sit down, block out your lead gen, you'll block out your appointment time, block out your family nights, your workouts, put in all the things that you like, and add those personal block out times as well. Don't just make it work. But and then pay attention to it. If you're gonna have these notifications on your calendar come up, don't just like dismiss. Like actually do your, block it out and do it.
Yeah. Do you find that like, I'm just sort of just gonna ask for like an experience perspective, is like. I find that the challenge with me is that my schedule on a weekly basis is so varied. Where I'm at right now, working 2 jobs, trying to sort things out, and then that schedule varies so much from week to week as well. But not trying, but working all the time, blocking in, and the fluidity of like my kids' schedules and appointments and sports and stuff like that, I can't predict farther out, makes that all a bit tricky. Do you have issues or struggles with that?
When do you get your work schedule? Like how far in advance do you get your work schedule from your other office?
2 weeks.
Okay. So time block in 2-week chunks.
I prefer, like personally, I would prefer to have it much farther out, because I'm learning care schedules going. Gonna block out for like the next 8 months,
Okay.
6 or 8 months, so I know that, but it's just trying, it's not,
Schedule, like, put it in, then and there.
I do put it in, but I still find that there's always something that comes up.
Right.
That screws me up, which is a bit wild.
Well, in its life,
Mhm.
right, things get added, but the last point. If you erase, you must replace. So if you end up, like, let's say you build out your time blocking calendar in advance, and then you have a conflict. Just move it somewhere else. Just put it on that Saturday afternoon when you maybe don't have your daughter with you that day, and then that way you're not gonna end up lagging behind in your goals.
Yeah. Okay.
Easier said than done, I'm sure, but
It just sounds so simple.
so easy.
It's simple, but it's not easy.
Measuring your results. Really close by. Okay, so. Tracking your phone calls. Oh, you're bold. Are you still tracking your calls? Yeah.
Oh, I dropped it after the first session.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in BC most of it, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I am tracking them, because
Okay.
like every phone call that I make is going into command, and it's got dates assigned to it and stuff like that, so I make notes after every single call, so yes, they're tracked that way. I don't track them like a tick sheet as I'm
Right.
saying. But yeah, I'm still sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Because part of, as we get into your goal setting and your business plan, you're gonna need to be tracking all of those numbers to know your conversion, right? It goes, and how many appointments you need, how many contracts, how many deals you want closed, and then knowing where your business comes from. And all the fun financials that we talked about earlier too. And knowing your return on investment is really important, especially if you're doing marketing pieces. If you're gonna do a mail out. Tracking the cost to that. How many leads are you getting back? How many of those turn into a listing, a buyer, client? And that way, this will all build on itself, and as you get further and further into the business. But tracking the numbers early is really important, because you just get into the good habits. From the Jinx Clear video, those habits will overpower, all of those other wants in your life, right? So having those good habits in place early will be really helpful. And there's lots of tracking tools that you can use. It's your personal preference. Track here. We use Command for all of our contact tracking. There's other systems than lead gen, things that you can use in accounting tools to track your P&L.
The other neat thing with Command is you can put in notes, right? So last time we spoke, you were going on a holiday. How was your holiday? Kind of thing.
No, it's
Well-
exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe you
What
were
holiday? Yeah. How was the holiday?
Yeah, those notes are really helpful, especially when I'm calling people that I've only like met for 5 minutes or talked to for
Right.
30 seconds or whatever.
Right.
Got something to talk about when you call them out.
Yeah.
Makes it easier.
You were listening,
Yeah.
right, and paying attention.
Mhm.
So when you're looking at blocking out your lead gen time, this is a really helpful chart, because if you know your conversion numbers, and these are just kind of generic ones, if you're looking at those numbers, you know where to focus your time. So when you're looking at lead gen, your past customer conversion rate, 52%. Where's your business, and where's your business coming from? If your current transactions are coming from 50% of those are coming from past clients, then you want to live there, right? Make sure you're nurturing all of those people in your database. Then you have your open houses, your farm area, internet leads, referrals, personal referrals and agent referrals. So if you can segment knowing where your business is coming from, it's really helpful to guide you into where you want to spend most of your time and energy.
Right, so as an example, these two here are just starting out, you don't have the background to support that, so. Would you suggest giving a lot of things a try? And then figuring it out after, or like, what's the best course of action here? It's like, we're trying a bunch of different things, and we've gotten some mild results with ideas that we've tried and events that we've done that have generated some leads, but a lot not necessarily the transactions yet. So like when you don't have the historical data to support a pie chart like this, like we just
Right.
tried it and everything and then analyze the data afterwards.
Well, as things are coming in,
Yeah.
right? So as leads are, so view your lead funnel.
Mhm.
And no matter like where these are coming from, it's a realtor.ca lead,
Yeah.
it's a referral from your neighbor, whatever it is. Manage all of them,
Mhm.
right? And then track where those transactions are coming from, and then yes, over time, you don't want anything to fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
But knowing where your deals, really your concrete is coming from is really helpful. But yeah, just it'll take some
Yeah.
time to know where you're. Because some people are great, like
Mhm.
listening to, there's agents that are doing a lot of cold calls.
Mhm.
They're a lot of their business, they'll have a chunk of their business that's come from cold calls this year. Right, so.
Just kind of like from spaghetti to the wall
Yeah.
for a little bit, but still watching
Yeah,
which noodles fall first.
yeah.
And what you normally gravitate to, right?
Yeah.
If you're like, well, call our door knocking, forget it. Then part that one.
Mhm.
Find the ones that you connect.
Yeah,
Wow.
you don't know which ones you do and you don't try.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now they actually want you to put all this into place. But I'm going to leave you with one more little snippet because I just can't resist. But I thought this was really good.
Every successful person in this world has jumped. I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. You are going to have to jump. You cannot just exist in this life. You have got to try to live. If you're waking up thinking that there's got to be more to your life than it is, man, believe that it is. Every successful person in this world
Seems interesting, he was talking about that on the set of Family Feud though.
Yes, he does these like, it's funny how he must do these little motivational talks before.
Or get
Big
down to
show?
brass tacks and Family Feud, and like 100 people were surveyed, like, what's your favorite breakfast drink?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, and that's why I was like, in case people need to trickle away, because essentially how Dave, you missed in the beginning, this class had a little bit less content, and they left a 40-minute chunk to building your business plan. Since we don't have the business plans printed, what I kind of wanted to do with everyone who's here today, the two of you, is have you go into your command dashboard. And I'm gonna walk you through putting your goals in there. And then after you've done that, then you can, if you want to translate it onto paper or print it or whatever the preference is. But when you put it into command, it goes onto on your front home page. So every single, like I mentioned earlier, every single time you log in to make your notes, to add a new contact, you have your goals right there in front of you. Have you ever done that before in command?
No.
This is new. Okay, good. Awesome.
That's the thing, but it has all this zero theme.
So and it does update, so it updates using your opportunities and your transactions. So as you close deals through the office, it updates. So it's neat because yeah, you have this little pie.
Spoke this up.
Yeah. So go into log into your command and scroll partway down where it says goals.
Okay.
And then just click on them. So it's not everything together. It's okay, it's gonna be in 2026, everyone's will be empty. Yes, and then, yeah, so, and then goal settings, yeah. Yeah, and get started. So, right into. That's right, yeah. And so, yes, so it shows for 2026, and then you put your. Yeah. No, it does say US currency, but it doesn't matter, and it's Canadian.
We'll just have.
Yeah.
100%.
Right. I mean, it doesn't matter, dollars, and when you're tracking it on a pie chart like this, it doesn't matter. So yeah, so when you say your profit goal, put your net. So like that's what you wanna take home at the end of the day, and no judgment, you can put whatever you like. And you can change this too, you can edit it, if you feel pressured.
More than I feel right now.
Yeah.
No. That's still the beginning, this is stuff I talked with my therapist about. So your net, like after taxes, you went into, or just earlier spent?
Yeah, your net, like your take.
Take home.
Yeah.
And our rule of thumb is 40%, the gross. Is your net.
Oh, we pay for all of the things necessary.
Thank you.
Great commitment, you guys. Come on.
Thanks. Part of it.
Great attendance. Well done.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well. All kind of expenses.
Oh, think of your expenses.
Yeah.
So like car, I mean, car,
Our gas, cell phone,
gas.
party, rain.
Yeah.
All the rest of it. That's a lot, that's a big math number.
Yeah.
Can't just.
And then there's your cost of sales, which for a team, might be different.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, for the majority of that part, I think it would be covered as part of our splits.
Right.
That's,
exactly,
so if we're not having any direct cost of sales, because I say a split, can I agree that as zero? Or probably not that high.
you might have to put something just for the sort of program.
So it works.
So it works, and I get mad if you don't put anything in, let me see.
It's not one of the
Yeah.
red categories there, so
Okay,
the other ones
you
were.
might be okay.
What is gonna be my expenses, and how much? I gotta factor in power and internet. And the expenses, you should know this all the time, man.
I was able.
Yeah, well, and also, so some things that would be a cost of sales, even being the team is your board fees. It always. But
Yeah.
you need that to do. business.
Or your business, yeah.
So the shed that we just had to pay for.
Yeah, all of your like the fees and
Yeah,
real estate board
the,
fees, your insurance fees.
Rev, yeah,
So-
you would have just got our Rev invoice recently.
Yeah. So, I go 360 for the end. Yeah.
For the business makeup, like listings of buyers, is that what we want it to be?
Yeah. Yeah, you can put your, like, we're looking at 2026 now, so. Yeah. The goal. What you would like it to look like, and it'll change as you go, you're working with more buyers at any given point, you know, more listings. But set it as a goal, or what you, how you would like to divide, because your time is leveraged different too, depending on.
Yeah.
Buyers or sellers, right? You have more hours when you're working with a buyer, as far as your time, but then you have the cost of sale when you're taking a listing.
Hopefully, that people, I think it's fun to move in those situations. Okay. I'll look that up. Hope everybody's-
Oh, hi.
Oh. Are you doing something?
This is the last 36-12-3 of the session.
Oh,
We've been here since noon.
oh,
I
really?
saw you sold that house that you got criticized on the other week.
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah, so,
did Jim help you with that?
I don't know. I don't know if I can
His
say it
tips?
was to him, but
No?
yeah, I mean. Could have been.
Oh, did the offer come in and the showings came in after you made those changes? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was the second showing actually, so like when I made. We showed the house, we made the changes, showed it again,
Oh.
and then put it on. Yeah, I got left on to go now, yeah.
Yeah, if you aren't sure about all your conversion rates, just use the recommended ones.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. So. Once you get a. What is the which one?
You have any questions?
Well, yeah, I'm looking, I went all the way through the end and now I'm on the new goals page and it's still this, well, this is all zeros because of what's happened. Looks like weeds. It's a lot. Like 9, almost 1,000 contacts.
Is that what?
There's 19,207 leads, 960 contacts, 48 appointments, 36 appointments kept, 28 agreements, 21 under contract, 15 closed units. For my total, those realistic.
Yeah, and at 5, so when you're looking, I think the stand, like the suggested was a 5% lead conversion on those leads, the cold lead coming in.
Yeah.
So that's why you end up with that shows a large number, but really, if your conversion on a lead coming in is a whole lot higher than that, then yeah, you could adjust those.
In terms of leads versus contacts, like, you know, we did a couple of things. We did a back to school contest that we did the game budget, but we give a school supplies basket away. But we gained a bunch of contacts from that, not
Okay.
necessarily leads.
Right.
Contacts for those. And then I'm trying to, not trying, but in through calling those could turn into leads, right? And,
Yeah, because a lead, they can define a lead as somebody who is ready, willing, and able to do business,
Yeah.
right? So it's a contact if you don't know any of that
That
information,
Yeah.
but as you nurture it,
Mhm.
hopefully you can convert it from, yeah. And then even keeping in touch through your database and your different lead gen touches, when you get referrals from, like if they had a good experience, you could do the contest, and you know, they got a little bit of warm and fuzzy, maybe they'll refer you to a friend, a
Yeah.
neighbor, and that may be your now lead.
Yeah.
Right?
What's
So.
So for clarification from my own brain on how these things all break down, is like, you know, that regular database isn't read. It says myself. I think that's great.
Okay, your goals in front of you, I guess. You feel good about it?
Right now, but it's really just
Yeah. Well, I would,
starting point.
yeah, I would really recommend, let me see if it, if it shows, no, it can show what page. Your business plan is on your.
Oh, like anything.
41, yeah, so if you go to page, like, 41. It gives you the blank
sheet.
sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then here you can put in, yeah, all of your appointments, yeah, so then take what you've just done through commands and put download and then print this off. Then you have, so every time you log into your computer, your command, you have your little chart, but then put it here and print it. It's easier to work on as a printed copy. It's really hard to start writing on this as a PDF probably. So having this printed where you can actually just spend a few minutes and pen to paper,
Yeah.
put it down. Yeah. It is quite a bit of, yeah, content. Doing it on our command system
Mhm.
is quicker.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot to go through if you're gonna print it off. So it was the.
Okay.
Oh, and here actually. Business plan, page 9. Has your blank 411.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's another question for Anson. How many agents, like full-time agents, typically do 36 deals in a year?
That would be a great question for Dave, because he knows our stats,
Right.
or he knows the agent's stats more than, that would be, yeah,
Awesome.
you'd be doing very well at 36 deals a year.
Okay.
I don't know what the average would be. It would be on the lesser number of agents, the large mass of realtors are not doing
Mhm.
that much business.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel, yeah, there is a large scope, right?
Yeah.
You have like the mega agents.
Yeah.
People people that are, blasting out 40, 50 deals. And then you have people that are doing just a couple of deals a year. Sometimes people are happy with only a couple deals a year.
Mhm.
And then
How long until you felt like you were comfortable and like steady?
it took a while.
Mhm.
It did take a while. So I was 21 years old when I got my license. So I was female and 21, but probably looked 5 years younger than that. So I did have to deal with a lot of objections. Even though I had a great mentor, before getting my license, I was working in the industry for 6 years before I got my license. So I was, well versed in the industry.
Mhm.
But it still took some time, but it kind of happened so gradually that you didn't really notice. It was an evolution
Right,
of just feeling more comfortable but knowing your scripts, knowing those conversations that you have with that random person in the grocery store when they ask you how the market is because they see you've got your realtor pin on, or like just being able to have those conversations just build up that confidence, right? The more appointments you go on, buyer appointments, seller appointments, it works that muscle.
Yeah.
But I definitely say scripting is a really great tool to get you there faster. Because when you feel like if you're at the listing table and a seller asks you a question and you feel like you're fumbling over what your response is, it can really take a hit on how you feel when you walk out the door. So know the market, study the market, and work on your scripting. And as you build that confidence, it just construct it.
This might be a little dumb, but do you have any tips for like getting to know the market really well and like where to look and
Yeah. So if you logging on to Trev, your local board, whichever one you use, I look at the weekly like hot sheet.
Okay, yeah.
And just look at that, you see all the new listings spent, 20 to 30 minutes. Beginning of the week, so
Yeah.
Monday morning over your coffee.
Okay.
And just look, you can check the inventory.
Is there anything else that anyone else
No,
does?
because if you don't have a buyer client, like a really active buyer client, that you're not out looking at houses every week,
Mhm.
then you still have to study them.
Yeah.
So just using the board, just
Okay.
check for the new listings, check for what's expired, but they have that little tick sheet, right? So it's new
Yeah.
listings, price changes, sold, expired, and canceled, I think is.
Yes, it's been very good.
Yeah. And just take a few minutes. And you can run stats on those too, like you can run a stat sheet, but even just looking at what's happening, and that way when you do bump into somebody and someone say, hey, how's the market? You kind of feel like you have a little bit. And also something that's a little bit different than market knowledge, but it gives you some talking points is Keller Williams, we have a lot of podcasts that run off of our MREA models. Empire Building is a really great podcast. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay.
And let me see this. So think like a CEO.
Yeah.
Um,
Are there any new episodes of that? Cause like, I feel like there hasn't been any.
You might have, yeah. There is a podcast, the real estate market update. It might be very American. You have to listen, but Empire Building's really good, and the One Thing is really good. Yeah. And so if you just make it a practice to listen to even one a week,
Mhm.
2 a week, depending on in your car. You do get content from it, yeah. So,
Gives you perspective.
yeah.
Mhm.
Did you have any questions? It is all of our content.
I think that's, I mean. There's always gonna be questions that are gonna come up afterwards, like in any meeting, you're like, well, got any questions, but. And then you're like, oh yeah, I have like 8 questions.
Right,
No, I don't have anything like that, but thank you.
you do have a little bit of homework
Okay.
to do your 411, like print that off.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I wish we had printed copies, because that would have made it easier. Sometimes it's nice to do it on your own anyway. Like take a quiet moment to pull those numbers from your goals. Like, so your 2026 goals that you just did on command, like that gave you your transactions, right? So work backwards. So if it was 36 transactions, whatever it was, that's your annual, and then your monthly and your weekly tasks to just break it down, whatever your goal was, whether it's 10 deals, whatever. Yeah.
Which one have you doing tomorrow, so with the flyers that.
Go for the first 5 flyers. You seen those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You showed me those,
Oh,
they
yeah.
look good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so, I used to live in Midhurst,
okay,
so I'm heading back out there tomorrow to replant myself in the neighborhood.
all right.
These 5 postcards that, Nikki made out for me, they're pretty funny. Well, I don't know, it's funny to me because of how it came about with Midhurst Plank on there, it's like,
Are you members, Mike?
I will be, as the fight tomorrow, when I see it.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, and he was like, you can do the envelope expert for you, and I'm like.
See that?
Oh, yeah. You guys have to ride.
Next year. So that's the
Oh,
cover.
cool.
And then it's 2 sides, so there's
Yeah.
a picture of the whole team on the back side of it, which is pretty fun, so. It came about because I went on, I did Spin the Lakes the year I got home from New Zealand, so 2022. Spin the Lakes is like a ride around Lake Bays or whatever.
Okay.
In Muskoka, and a buddy of mine is he's the chief operating officer for marketing. Anyways, Chris works for Avant Outfitters.
Okay.
And so he and I used to work together at MEC, so I went out and rode Spin the Lakes with him. And he's got this really funny guy who works for him named Bob. And I met Bob just before we started the ride, like first time ever. And he's like, hey Bob, how's it going? He's like, oh, good. And he's like, kind of like a squirrel. He's like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, well, I just got back from New Zealand, but I went to Midhurst. Like, oh, cool, Midhurst, eh? Oh, Mini Mike. And then so like for 30 seconds, and it kind of stuck for him.
Yeah.
And then when I was talking about it with Nikki and Sarah, like finding an area to farm,
Yeah.
they're like, well, what about Midhurst? Midhurst, like,
Right.
okay, I got a story for that, so. Yeah, it's a bit scary going back into the neighborhood, but.
Is there a call to action on that?
On the backside, it's like got all the reasons why it worked with us, so not direct call to action, but hopefully like some people over the door recognize me because they've seen me running around the neighborhood literally for the past 10 years. But not the last year. So we'll see, but there's a lot of people that I know there, so. And my daughter goes to school there and stuff, so it's like, we'll see, and then. That course we did a few weeks ago, but it's school, some 4 schools like taking the dive in the school rankings. They're like at 6 or something like that. Yeah, really wild.
Strange.
Oh, well, everyone else thinks it's still a really good school, but I think it is.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
uh,
well, and you know, like, if you guys know the faculty, things are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing tomorrow.
Are you coming in for box packing?
I was going to, but I have showings booked now.
That's good. Did you get my text?
Your text?
Yeah.
No. I didn't get any text from you.
Wonder if I had the right number.
Probably is, I'm very avidly on my phone.
705-333.
3083
Yeah,
on messages? Or what's that?
what was the message? Did I not do enough threes? I'm looking at my eyes. I miss.
So is it a 9-digit phone number? No.
I might, did you do it today? No, Tuesday. Yeah, I did. Burn my eyes, actually, that's probably why you didn't bring it back. No, yep, that's one from you. Nope, that's because I forgot a 3. I did.
You did.
Yeah, my eyes must have went like part of it.
No, it's okay. It took me a long time for my own eyes to stop processing.
How many threes were? No, I just started to mix up.
333 3083.
It was 4 threes in a row. So I missed